Thanks, Stephen, for asking us to share some reflections on what Easter means for us. For me, Easter is a time of new beginnings and fresh starts. I really relate to Simon Peter's story, not just at Easter, I guess, but particularly Easter. Picking it up on Maundy Thursday when Jesus tells the disciples that they're going to betray him and run away and desert him. And Simon Peter's most vociferous in going, no, not I. I'm never going to let you down. I'll never betray you, not I. And Simon Peter is told by Jesus, hey, actually, before the cock crows in the morning, you'll deny me 3 times. I really relate to Peter's imagination that he's full on for Jesus and that he's never going to let him down. But we all know what happens, right? In the morning, the cockerel crows, and by that time, Peter's been asked 3 times if he knows Jesus while the trial's going on, and each time he's asked, Peter denies it. He denies ever having anything to do with Jesus, and then, of course, the cock crows. And the Bible says that their eyes meet across the courtyard, and I just imagine what's going on in Simon Peter at that moment as he realizes Jesus knows that he has denied him, that he has let him down. Jesus knows what's happened, and Peter knows the depths of his failure. And then, of course, we have the events of Easter Sunday and the empty tomb and the risen Lord Jesus and all that joy. And then in the readings and the days that follow, we read of the times Jesus appears to his disciples. And there's that particular morning on the beach when the disciples have gone fishing again, and there's Jesus on the beach, the risen Lord Jesus, and he tells them to put the net over the other side, just like he did when he called them the first time. And suddenly they realise it's Jesus, and Simon Peter leaps over the edge of the boat and wades ashore, still with his robes on, and they rush to meet the risen Lord Jesus. And Jesus invites them to have breakfast around a fire on the beach. I imagine a strange silence and some furtive glances going between the disciples. And then Jesus turns to Simon Peter and says, "Do you love me?" Simon Peter says, you know I love you, Lord, and feed my sheep, says Jesus. And he does this in total 3 times. And it says in the Bible that Peter was hurt that the Lord had asked him a 3rd time. But of course, we get to see the parallel, don't we, of Peter's denial 3 times and Jesus giving Peter 3 chances to say, I love you, completely reversing the effects of that failure. Real grace and mercy extended to Peter, a new start, a fresh beginning. And even more than was before, he goes on to install Simon Peter as kind of the rock on which he's going to build his church, he says. Such grace and mercy, forgiveness, and such a fresh start and a new start and a new beginning for Simon Peter. And I love that. Easter's full of them. Even the thief on the cross, who at the very last moment asks Jesus to remember him when he comes into his kingdom, and Jesus says, today you'll be with me in paradise. The Lord of new starts and fresh beginnings. And I love that story of Simon Peter's. I love that display of grace and mercy. And I've known that. And I wish I could say that it's just been 1 or 2 times in the past, but actually it's probably been lots. And even now, on each day, God's grace is such a gift. Each day there are moments of forgiveness and grace and mercy and new start and fresh beginnings. And Easter for me is such a powerful reminder of that, such a powerful testament to that. This is the means by which we are forgiven. And it doesn't matter what you've done or how long ago you've done it, or nothing can actually cut us off from that forgiveness and grace. There is always a fresh start. There is always a new beginning available to us. And that is what Easter really means to me.